We have back to volleyball and back to fall. We have Heather Guthrie coming on from Lakeview. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time during your lunch hour, too. We definitely appreciate that and appreciate all your time that you're able to give us.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me back on.
Coach, what a stretch this has been for your squad this season. Undefeated in the NE8. You've won 24 consecutive sets dating back to the 30th of August when you lost that one to Girard. Then you came out and beat them in 4 sets. What has this last 2 weeks been like for your squad? Just dominating.
The last 2 weeks have been really well for us. We have just been playing very well. We've been playing very consistent. We're playing our game right now. Our girls are communicating so well with each other on and off the floor. It's like they almost can read each other's minds. It's kind of crazy when they play with each other. It's like they're just constantly like vibing off of each other. And, you know, we're really sticking to our game plan right now. So, yeah.
For all your seniors, I should say, this is like their last go around with each other. Have you seen kind of a sense of urgency every time they go on the floor this year to know that this is the last time they get to play at this gym or last time they get to play this team, and they kind of have this sense of urgency about them every time they go out on the floor?
Absolutely. I think that is really hitting home for them this year. I really feel that they are taking on that role of, you know, going all out and wanting to leave their mark on Lakeview volleyball history. And, you know, they're doing a great job with that so far.
Coach, I think you guys have one of the best setters in Maggie Pavlansky. Even at his system, she's able to give a great set to either the outside or the middle. Maybe talk about what she's meant to this program in the last couple of years, because she's been involved in, you know, basketball and volleyball in a big way throughout her high school career.
Yes. So Maggie obviously is an amazing setter. She is so strong. She puts a lot of work in the weight room, as well as, you know, playing all these other sports, I think helps with her strength as well. But she is so mentally strong. I feel like that is another thing that makes her such a great setter, is that she is mentally strong. She believes in her hitters. She makes her hitters believe in her. And, you know, she takes on the role that if I want my setter, or if I want my hitters to get a kill, I need to give them the ball. And, you know, she's running a great offense right now. You know, she had some great role models to follow. It's crazy because actually last night was a year since she got her 1,000 assists, when she got her 1,000 assists last year. So, I mean, that's really cool that we got to like celebrate that again with her. But I mean, she's just running a phenomenal offense. And Maggie's the type of person too that knows that, you know, she can't do it without a pass. And our defense and our back row players are just giving her, you know, 3-point passes 9 times out of 10. So, and she can run it with that. So
what I've been impressed with seeing you guys is Mallory Lock, who comes in when she's not setting, and they run a tandem offense, like you said. But how much of her success and her ability this year and confidence this year comes from working with Maggie Pavlansky every day in practice?
I definitely know she feeds off of Maggie. I know last year she asked Maggie a ton of questions, but Mallory is one of those girls too that honestly has put in so much work outside of just practice and season. She went to a ton of camps this summer to improve her skills. She works out almost every day in the gym. I mean, she has given herself to this sport. She is definitely a lot stronger physically and mentally than she was last year. So Maggie has definitely helped her with that. I know Maggie, you know, encourages her a lot and says, you know, hey, Mal, do this, or hey, Mal, that was a great set, keep it going. So, I mean, they definitely feed off of each other very well. And, you know, Maggie knows that she had great role models when she first started. So I know she took on the role of being a great role model for Mallory as well.
And the setters have been so good this season because of that initial pass that they get. I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit. You got a great back row with your libero and Maddie Bayes, and then another defensive specialist in Brooke Schneider, who can also hit it on the outside as well. So maybe touch on those two players and how much they've meant to the defensive side of things for your squad this season.
Again, just seeing the growth in those two, you know, they really didn't start until their sophomore year. So just seeing how much they've grown over these last couple of seasons is amazing. Maddie has definitely took on the role as being the person who brings energy to the floor and, you know, tries to make the player make her teammates laugh. She knows that her job is to keep the ball off the floor, and she has really taken on that role this year. Brooke is one of our most consistent players. She may not be the biggest hitter like Tara or Reagan or Emma, but I know that when Maggie or Mallory gets her the ball, she's going to keep that ball in play. She has very limited errors this year, hitting wise. She definitely stepped up with her serving because her serving was her weakest spot of her game. But this year it's become one of the strongest spots of her game. Her defense has always been phenomenal. She reads the court so well. She's so quick. Her first step is so fast. So, I mean, she's just doing very well back there as well.
All right, and as we continue to shine a light on your roster, I feel like this is becoming a let's talk about this star. I got to talk about your middles. I mean, Tara Lytle, of course, everyone knows her, and she's been kind of the shiny toy in your toy chest for the last couple of years. But when she rotates out of the back row, you bring in Reagan Price, who does just as good in the middle. What kind of a luxury is it for you as a coach to not lose anything out of the middle when Tara Lytle rotates out of the front row?
Again, Tara has definitely been a role model for Reagan. I know last year Reagan said, I want to hit the ball like her. I want to be a force like Tara is. And she's worked so hard to do that. Again, she went to a ton of camps this summer as well to improve her skills. And, she goes to the gym with Mallory, actually, and they work out together and they push each other. So it's great. Tara is just one of those players that I am so lucky to have. And she's so strong offensively. And this year, her mental game has really stepped up. This year, she's not scared to tip the ball if she has an offset. Whereas in years past, we would always tell her, it's okay if you tip. You're still a good hitter if you tip. So she's really taken that mindset this year as well. Reagan follows her in the sense of, I want to hit like Tara. I want to go in and be just as big as a force as Tara is. So they don't see me as the weak one when Tara comes out. They can't take advantage of us when Tara comes out. So they definitely feed off each other as well. I love in practice when they're blocking each other. It's just, it's great. It's not great, but it is great because it makes them work harder. So, they're just doing so well.
Coach, I've been fortunate to cover your team 2 out of the last 3 games, 1 against Hubbard, 1 against Canfield. And one thing that stands out to me is the efficiency when serving. You talk about Maggie Pavlansky, Molly Stewart, who came off the bench, and she served, I think, 9 times in a row in that third set to put things away against Canfield. What does your team work on either in the offseason or during that week of practice to be so efficient behind the back line?
Well, this year we definitely talked about how first ball contact includes serving. A lot of times people don't think of serving. They just think of passing or blocking, but it definitely comes from serving as well. Our mentality this year has been when we go back to the back line to serve, we want to be back there 4 to 5 points every single time. And this year in practice, we've really focused on that. We focus normally 1 to 2, mainly I would say, I'm trying to think like what my practice schedule is today. I can't remember. We are going to work on some serving today. Probably for about 20 minutes, we dedicate to serving almost every practice.
And with that, you still keep aggressiveness with your serving too. You're trying to spot serve as much as possible. Yeah. You see a lot of teams when they want to be efficient with their serving, they'll have to sacrifice the aggressiveness. How have you guys been able to keep your aggressiveness with serving, pick apart the other team's weakness on the serve receive, but still stay efficient?
Well, again, that comes from practice. And again, in practice, I make them hit all their spots before they can move on. If they don't, they have a punishment. So they don't really like punishments. So they're going to do everything they can to get those serves where they have to go. So they're working very hard on that. Again, I forgot to talk about Molly, so I'll go back to her. But Molly is one of the strongest servers, I think, in our conference. She may not jump serve, but how much power she has behind the ball and her ability to hit any spot that I give her. If I give her, a spot 9 times out of 10, she is hitting that spot, and it's with force and it's with power, and it's hard to control. She has a nice float drop serve that just gets everybody back on their heels, and then it just drops right in front of them. So, but yeah, we really focused on serving this year. We knew last year that serving wasn't the strongest part of our game, but it was a part that was missing, and that was something that we really needed to focus on this year.
Coach, a great stretch in the last 2 weeks. And, this is kind of one of the matches you circled tomorrow night against Girard. Girard was able to get you for 1 set last time, but you came out, beat them in 4. And, they have 2 really skilled outside hitters. So what's kind of the plan of attack to take down the Indians for the second time?
We're going in with the mentality that we know it's going to be a 4 or 5 set night. We're not walking in thinking that it's going to be a 3 set night either way. Either they're going to beat us in 3 or we beat them in 3. We know that's not going to happen. Bree and Lauren are 2 very, very strong hitters, but they also have a couple other hitters, that we're focused on as well. Like Nico Cochran on the right side, she can pick apart a defense like I've never seen. So she has a great swing as well. But Tomorrow night, we're just really focused on our game plan, and I'm not giving that away, but our game plan is, I mean, mainly our game plan is really just to be consistent, play our game, play to our level, keeping our energy high the whole time, and just making sure that our mental focus is there from, warm-ups to the last whistle.
A lot of people are going to talk about the player matchups, and that's awesome because there are big player matchups in that game. But the coaching matchup in this one is fun too, because last time I was there in Girard, you and Coach Walters both made adjustments, and we're trying to work the chess match. What's it like coaching against a guy like that who is just as respected as you are, and you're trying to find little ways, little advantages that you can have against his adjustments? Does it keep you on your toes as a coach?
Well, what's really funny is Phil was one of my coaches once back in the day when I played travel volleyball. He was one of my coaches back in the day. So I definitely learned from him. I wouldn't put myself at his level yet with coaching. I mean, Phil has always had a very strong program from when I played him when I was in high school, when I was a champion. He coached at Girard. He always ran a great program. I learned from him as a player, and I still learn from him as a coach. I went back and watched our film, and I even saw the adjustments that he made on defense. And I'm like, wow, I would have never thought to do that. So he definitely has given me some pointers, but I respect Phil so much. I don't think I've ever seen him get angry at all. I've never seen him yell at a player. I've never seen him really get too upset with an official. And that to me is very respectable, because you don't want to be that coach that yells and screams all the time. So I definitely have learned from him in that aspect. But I'm excited. Phil and I have a good relationship. And, like I said, I learned so much from him as a player and as a coach. And I like playing against coaches that have all those weapons and, tactics that they use to try to make their team win. It makes me a better coach as well.
Coach, we've highlighted a lot of individual players so far with your squad this season, but it looks like as a team, you guys gel together very well. A very unselfish team when you think about it, because Lytle gets a lot of attacks in the middle, and then Price will step up. You got Schmader on the outside, then you'll have Schneider. Kind of talk about the team aspect with this. Nobody is very selfish about how many kills they're getting in a particular match.
Right. Like last night when we played Niles, Emma really stepped up. And when we played Canfield, Emma really stepped up. She hasn't seen a lot of the sets because it's mainly been a middle dominant team this year, but she has been so consistent with being patient. And when the ball gets out to her, she takes care of the ball. That's the thing. My hitters know, you know what, maybe Tara's not having a great night. So then someone else will step up and cover for her. So I don't know, our hitters they're playing so well right now. And again, I think it's because they're just gelling as a team, and they all want to win, and they all want to make sure that this is the best season that they have. So they're all stepping up in little ways, but have a big impact.
All right, before we let you go, I know coaches like to take one match at a time.
Yes.
But I can't end the interview without talking about this district that you're in, because
geez.
you moved down to Division III, but we're looking at this district, and we see 4 state-ranked teams in Division III in the district, and Mineral Ridge, you guys, Crestview, Lake Catholic. I mean, how excited are you? How you start the last month of the season, you start to kind of think about in the back of your mind a little bit, how can I get my team to the best possible spot before then? What do you see from this district, and how is it lining up?
Well, again, we went from a Division II district, which had state-ranked teams, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, Mentor Lake Catholic, Girard, us. And, when I found out we were going Division III, I'm like, oh my gosh, we'll have a little bit of breathing room. And then, Mentor Lake Catholic comes down with us. So, that's always great. But then, we have teams like Crestview, Mineral Ridge, Kirtland. Our district is, going to be powerful again this year. We're excited. We would rather play teams where we know we have to play at our best. And we're going to have a ton of competition on the other side of the net. I think that the end of our schedule, we're going to play Ridge and Kirtland. I think those are going to be 2 big tests for us as well. So, we had Fish at the beginning of the year, which was a big test, again, getting us ready for tournament play. Canfield, Girard 2 times. We're going to have Jefferson 2 times. Those are teams that help us get ready for tournaments and playoffs. So, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. I would love to just make it past district semis this year. So that's our goal.
All right, Coach. We wish you the best of luck on that goal. We'll see you tomorrow in Lakeview against Girard. I'm looking forward to that game, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. Thank you again for your time, and we look forward to talking again real soon.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.